You're listening to the Breaking Sound podcast, My Story, where we discover the full story behind the hottest emerging artists, their struggles, their successes, and what's next. My name is Kaleena Zanders. Have you checked out our 24/7 digital radio station, BSR? If you love discovering new music first, make sure you download the app, which is linked below. This episode is sponsored by Spirit Airlines' Music for Miles program. More go now. Make sure you go check out the latest routes and low-cost fares at spirit.com today. We are also sponsored by Hype, the only worldwide official street-style fashion brand for clothing, bags, accessories, and more. Kaleena Zanders is a Los Angeles-based emerging artist from San Jose, California, with over 1 million monthly listeners and over 100 million combined streams. Her biggest song, Stronger Than I've Ever Been, was featured on the Toyota commercial during Super Bowl LII and was also featured in the 2018 Olympics and Women's US Open with Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. Gaining her millions of listeners, her powerful voice has been featured on many popular dance music tracks, a path that kicked off after a highly successful collaboration with SNBRN called California. Combined with support from Diplo, Heldens, Benassi, and many more, California quickly became the quintessential dance music song still played on the radio today. Let's find out her story. All right. Kaleena Zanders, welcome to the show. Let's start at the beginning.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So great to have you. I'm loving the hair, by the way.
Thank you.
Everything. So happy. It's so good. It's so good. All right. We're going to just start this at the very start. Get right into it. You're from Jose. What was everyday life like in San Jose as a kid?
Oh, well, for me, it was kind of unique and kind of fun. I was a very simple kid. I think that I was. I used to paint and play with my rat. I had a pet rat, and it was his name was Brendan Mookie Nookie Cherry. That was his full name. And
wow.
Yeah. we used to feed him grits and I don't know, just cereals. It's he lived for a long time, and he used to be on my shoulder and things like that. So yeah, it started off kind of every day drawing and hanging out with my rat, and then I got into sports when I was a little kid. Let me back up. I was in musical theater with when I was 8 to 11, and I really didn't like it, but I liked when I was on stage, but I hated everything else about it. So I didn't really continue that. I got into sports afterwards, like basketball, and so I was very just an active little kid. You know, as I grew up, I realized San Jose was boring, but for me, every day I was just an active, kind of free spirited little kid,
Clearly with a great imagination to give your pet rat such an epic name.
Yeah. What was that? It was based off of that little book. I don't know. It was some book that had a really long name for a person. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but
so I'm recreating this.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 5 half brothers. Yep.
Are you the anybody else creative, or were you the artist?
I have 2 brothers that are pretty creative. I think I'm the creative one. I'm the creative Kaleena Zanders. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Yeah, just
own it.
Yeah.
When did you where and when did you kind of just discover oh wait, I can sing. This is cool.
Well, I think I discovered it pretty early. My parents used to say that I used to just naturally sing. It was second nature. It was me speaking. So I really didn't even process that I was singing. I was just always just la 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 la, just singing everyone, and they'd be like, "Get on the table, sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," and I'd be like, "Why?" You know what I mean? Because I was kind of shy and whatever. But yeah, it I think I realized it early, but as far as a career, really late. Yeah.
And then when you kind of discovered it, was it around the time, was there anything, would you say, influential, a song, an album that you were wait, I want to do this?
Well, initially I wanted to be a producer. I fell in love with well, two albums. It was Queen Latifah's Black Rain and also Biggie Smalls' Ready to Die. So or Notorious B.I.G., however you whatever AKA you want to call him. But
It works. Yep.
yeah, yeah. I was really, really inspired by those albums and I wanted to like produce music. I used to always buy CDs and then like look at the liner notes and see who produced stuff. So that's how it started. I didn't want to do singing at all. I didn't even think about it. It was really
You're like,
weird.
I just want to create the cool stuff that I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
exactly, exactly.
Would you say as you started getting into the producing side, like what was maybe the genre though that you started listening to more? Like, did you have a specific genre or were you just like, oh, I love everything, pulling from everywhere?
Well, yeah, I actually really loved a lot of rock music. I was getting pretty angsty like in high school, so like I was listening to like Korn and Insane Clown Posse and like
Oh yeah.
the old Incubus records, like the very ones that were like Raging, Rage Against the Machine. So like I started playing a little bit of piano because we had a piano in the garage, and it was like really dark and sad because I was just like like angsty, like a little like a
Like a
teenage.
typical
Yeah,
teenager.
exactly. So that was like my first instrument. I was influenced by rock, but I couldn't make it necessarily. And then I started taking guitar lessons like after that and trying to get a little bit into that a little bit more.
Were your parents like when you were going through that stage, were they like, oh, she'll make this into a career? Or was like, oh, Kalena's just going through a thing right now?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both. I think like my mom thought I was probably going to be doing some like more musical theater stuff and just like I was definitely like an entertainer like little kid. I was very energetic, super hyper and all those things. But then like Home Alone, like I'd play in the garage and my mom would open the door and she's like, "Why are you always playing that sad music?" And I'm like, "I'm fucking sad." Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just really sad. Like, yeah. So I think it was like something where they like knew I would always do something creative, but like just no one knew what it was going to be.
What do you think was the moment when you knew like you obviously, the producing thing was kind of like the first and foremost, but when you were like, wait, I think I want to be an artist.
Yeah, it was actually in college. I was a resident advisor in the dorms. Like I feel like it's just a basic ass childhood that I had, but like, like
I love it though. I love it. Very pure, very like totally normal.
yeah, I mean, that's yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was a resident advisor. And then one of the other resident advisor was a drummer and I was singing in the halls and he's like, "Yo, we should start a band." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then so we just started, he had a drum kit in like the little common area and we just used to make a bunch of noise and like I used to sing and like rap and like we literally were trying to be like, Rage Against the Machine, like like straight up. And then like that ended up being like a full band with guitar and bass and we ended up like rocking in San Francisco and all over like the colleges and stuff like that. We like started to get pretty popular. So that's when I realized I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta do this.
What was the support like from your family, like when you started having that
Well,
moment? Oh yeah, I got to do this.
it was actually honestly looking back on it, I think it was pretty good. Like, I remember my dad, I had like a red mohawk. I was that typical, like, like I started getting tattoos, you know what I mean? Like I was like becoming really rebellious and like I
The
had
rebellion was strong.
oh yeah, super strong rebellion right here. And I had like red Dickies and like spray painted shirts and like the Hot Topic belts and whatever. And like and so yeah, like I had this big show in San Francisco and then my dad came out and he's like after the show he's like, "Okay, all right, that was pretty crazy, but like okay." You know what I mean? Like he was into it, I think,
Like
or
a
if he
good parent. Like I don't think I get it, but I get it that you
yeah,
love this,
totally.
right?
Yeah, and I was really happy because like it was how I was like really able to express myself at that time and mentally I feel like, when you're like, like teenage 20 years, like the 20s, like you start to everything's a little bit crazy, and if you
Totally.
don't have like those outlets, it's like pretty strange. So that was the way I could let everything out. So I think he
Yeah, and to
understood
be
that.
able to have like the outlets and kind of definitely be yourself, right? And
Yeah.
then have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
support from your family to be like, you're cool, just keep doing the thing. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, helps
Yeah.
you not get hung up on finding your thing, right? Yourself
Totally.
and all of that.
Totally. And my
What
mom
was
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, no.
Oh, I just say, and my mom was extremely supportive too because she started me in arts early, like with
Yeah.
musical theater. So she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna. She already knew like you're gonna do something. And she definitely had an idea of what I should do, but I was just like, I'm gonna do it my way. So yeah,
Gonna go my own path, mom, but cool.
completely. Yeah,
Thank you.
completely.
Well, you're talking about like in college, obviously you got the
Yeah.
band, thing and all that. Was that around the time when you like, would you say you wrote your first song or was that even like younger or did that come kind of later?
Well, so when I was younger, I used to write a lot of poetry, and so I don't know if they're necessarily songs yet. I don't think I put it together to make them songs, but I definitely wrote a lot. And then I would say, yeah, I would think, yeah, the band is when I made like my first song. Yeah, yeah, it was like, flashing screens, no, how's it, blank minds. I don't know, something about like world peace. It was something really, really like nice and wholesome. Oh, it was kind of like a Creed song, I think.
Oh my, I'm like,
Endless impression.
is it weird that I'm resonating with like Incubus and Rage Against the Machine? I'm like, yes, I
Oh,
also listen to all these bands. I
yeah.
feel you. This
And it's all coming back around again. So,
It is.
yeah.
Isn't that wild? And then
Yeah.
also, this is total sidebar, but like I don't know how on one hand I'm like, no, we're young. And then like
Mm.
there are people younger than us that are
Oh,
like
yeah.
15 and 16 that are like, oh, I just discovered Incubus. And you're like,
Yeah.
excuse
You're like,
me,
no, it's
hold
it's
on.
kind of maddening, honestly. I'm like, you don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty crazy, honestly.
You go, I was there first. Okay.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
um oh, okay. Wow, we're gonna get off on like a total tangent with that one. But okay, let's kind of go back on the producing, like when you you're in the band, wrote that song,
Hmm.
you're kind of still in that producer headspace. Like when did that start though? When like you kind of went back into like, wait, I want to also produce.
Well, I always had a knack for putting like in like arrangements for like how things should go. I could I would say like how like Rick Rubin like hears something and we could put together like a band, or like when he did Red Hot Chili Peppers, he was able to
Yes.
like say, yo, you guys should do this, whatever, whatever, and then totally change their career. But I would say like that's how I hear music. I hear how it should from top. I almost can hear like once I get an idea, I can hear it from start to finish. And then it's just a matter of like working backwards and then like, inputting the sounds and kind of working to get the aesthetic. And oftentimes now, because I have ADD, so I don't like to sit there and like press the buttons, but I do have some wonderful producer friends who know how to use the DAWs and stuff. And I just, we just go back and forth. And I'm like, okay, add the guitar here, and sometimes I'll even play like the little bass guitar. And
Rad.
and if there's, I can do anything. It's just the inputting. We don't do that.
You're like, I need you to hit record.
Yeah,
Just
please.
hit
Yeah,
record
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll build this thing out. That's all
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
need.
Even Michael Jackson was the same way. He used to beatbox all of his percussion and melodies, and then they would like just like play it, and then like they would lay out the song.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, you're right. I remember
yeah,
hearing about that story.
yeah.
Obviously you're talking about collaborating, how you just, yo, this is what I want, right? Someone hits record, you go for it. Do
Mm,
you though have a preference sometimes? Like, do you like to work alone, like at any point in
mm,
the creative process?
mm. Not anymore, honestly. Like there was many years I think I spent as just alone, and just also it was a lot of self discovery and making music by myself, and then as I got more into the professional side of things, I realized that it's way better to collab because you get more expansive ideas, and also it's a little bit faster at times. Sometimes when you're by yourself, you like mill over ideas for too long, and
Or
it's nice to
or
it's
you might have a phenomenal idea, right? But like
yeah,
you second guess yourself. So if you're
yes,
in that room with someone else, they can go, no, no,
yes,
no, that is pretty dope. You're like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. So now I rarely write by myself, to be honest. Now I
That's
do.
awesome though. I love to hear that. That's so
Hmm.
great. That's so great. The process when you are sitting down and whether it's one other person or two other people, however you do it, like what is the process? Do you come into a session or studio time ever where are you like a melody first person? I know you talked about you kind of build it all out, almost the skeleton in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can picture it, but do
Mm-hmm.
you have a specific way you kind of go about the studio time every time?
Yeah, if it's a song for me, I generally will have like an idea of what the palette of the genre, what it'll sound like, going into it. A lot of times, I mean, I'm always hit with inspiration, so I'll be like, let's make a song like this. And I'm like a crate digger style person, so I'll like listen to all styles and just be like, oh my god, I want to make something like that. So yeah, I typically will have like either a title, going into the session, or a sound idea. Yeah.
And then
And
you just
then
go from there and
and then and yeah, and then I usually will come up with the melodies, especially if I'm singing it, because I mean I know my voice now. So and then with the writer we just go back and forth until we have a dope song.
what do you would you say like the time you spend on kind of like one record, does it depend on like if you're writing, say, do you ever have that time where maybe you're writing on something for yourself and you're also currently, working on a project for someone else? Like,
Mhm.
does it kind of for you, do you go back and forth between like your stuff and things that maybe aren't for your artist project, or do you like to just
Yeah.
work on like artist project and then work on,
Well,
the producing?
I actually prefer to write for other people. Um, but I'm trying to get out of that space because I also know that I should be the forefront of my own thing too.
Totally.
So, I
Your
mean,
own
especially,
brand.
yeah, exactly. And I'm been tapping into that since quarantine because everything kind of, I guess, brought about a lot of self-reflection, and I realized I need to put out a project. So yeah, but I do really enjoy writing for other people because it's less pressure, and you also sometimes you collect more ideas because you're not fussing over, it's mine and so I really, really appreciate seeing, and I love seeing people's eyes and that they're delighted about like the song. I love working in person too with like people with like, as far as like if I'm working with somebody else, because you get to feel who they are, all of that.
Oh yeah, the vibe is real. That's where I
Yeah.
think there's that kind of element to like doing the Zoom studio sessions. I think everybody during quarantine had to like get used to that. I
Yeah,
think people go, "Oh no, it's like it's on video, it's the same." It's like, "No, because
it
you can
isn't the
feel the
same.
vibe even if people aren't talking when you're in the room, right?"
Yeah,
And this way
totally.
you're like awkward staring at the screen. You're like, "Are they into it? Are they not?" It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is weird. The best thing for Zoom is if you already have like a track laid out and you kind of know exactly where the parts are and you guys are just focusing on writing the lyrics, then that's great. But
Totally.
trying to jam on Zoom is, ooh, it's tough. It's very
It's
tough.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like its own beast.
It's weird.
It's almost
It's
like
weird.
that's now a new talent. You're like, "Can you, collab over Zoom?" "Okay, cool."
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Can you collab over Zoom? Because like I can, dude. Okay.
It's like, "Do do you use, Ableton, Pro
Yeah.
Tools? Can you collab over Zoom?" Like,
Yeah, like,
"Hey."
yeah. No, it is a thing. It's a skill set for sure. Yeah.
I wanna kinda, like, touch base on, like, we know you're really into superheroes and, like,
Yeah.
AI and all of that,
Yeah.
and by the way, I saw that you had a sync on, Batwoman, right?
Yeah.
That just happened this week.
Yes.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
I kinda wanna touch base first on, like, if there was a film or, like, a video game that, like, has been inspiring for you through your career?
A film? Um, oddly, this is so crazy, but Total Recall.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's like so random, but
It is, but I love it.
yeah, it was also one of the first, I wouldn't say it's the first action film I've seen, but like it was the one that was the most impressionable. I think because of the lady who had like, she's like 2 weeks and her face opened it up, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I don't know,
Yes.
for some reason, and there was the lady with the three tits. I don't know. It completely left a really long, a
Really
long,
put it gave an impression on you.
yeah, it really, really did. Yeah. So I have no idea. And also love Iron Man. I love Iron Man movies. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, I want his house, I want the
Yeah.
dog, like, the whole thing.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, and the A Team. The A Team. Do you remember the A Team?
Yes, I do.
I have a tattoo that says, or that's Mr. T. I don't know
Oh
if
my gosh.
but
Stop. Yes, I can
yeah,
see this.
yeah. But it says I pity the fool.
Is this your this is
Or
so good. Is
yeah.
this your only tattoo in tribute to your love of superheroes
Um
and
mm, I guess so. Oh no. I just looked down right now and I was like, duh. I have a tribute to Black Panther and to Chad because I
Oh,
love
that's dope.
and I was really sad when he died. And it's basically his mask in the shape of Africa. Yeah. I,
Whoa. Okay, that's like super dope.
yeah.
That's cool. I see
Yeah.
it.
Like I
So
legitimately want
creative.
to be I want to be in that movie. Like I like need to be in that movie.
Well, you keep putting out there the universe. Come on,
um
right? And then we'll be like, hey, remember that time when you talked about you want well, look at that.
yeah. No, I
You
need
just
to
got to
be in it.
send it out there,
Yeah.
put the vibes out.
Yes.
Okay, back to I was just so excited. The whole Batwoman thing. Like, how
Yeah.
did that happen?
Uh, honestly, well, so I'm with Pure Music. And Pure Music is publishing, licensing, all the things. And it's so crazy because I had a meeting with them maybe last year this time, maybe almost a year ago.
Wow.
Or yeah, something like that. And I was saying out loud, I was like, yeah, I would love it if my music was like, placed for any superheroes. I was just like listing off a bunch. And I love superhero movies. I'm like, that's what I try to embody when I perform, all these different things. And like, they heard it somehow. And like,
You put
next
it
thing,
out there is what you
yeah,
did.
yeah. And and then yeah, I got the call maybe I think last week or whatever. And then they were like, yeah, so I was like, what? Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
See, I'm
And it's
telling you.
yeah,
And then you'll be in one of these movies sooner than
yeah.
later. Cause look at that. This is just like, it's like little stepping stones, baby steps.
Yeah. Let's
You
go. Let's
know?
go. Yeah.
That's amazing. How exciting. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you. Thank you.
huge.
Yeah.
That's
It it's like also okay, also Batwoman is a queer and she's black.
right.
And I'm queer and black, and that's another thing that's fucking
I It's
crazy.
just so cool. It was like it was so meant to be, and it's just such a
Yeah.
like a wonderful like I think when those things happen in music, it's like when it can kind of align like artist and the creativity and all of
Yeah.
that.
And like who you are and your
Yeah,
like
it makes it even more
yeah.
special.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
that's
oh,
so
absolutely. That's the name of it's called Absolute Goddess. That's the name of the song that was in the song. So I was like, absolutely right now.
you're
Yeah.
like absolute goddess,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So when you made the move to LA, when was that? How long have you been down in Los Angeles?
um, I've been here for a long time. A really, really long time. But I would say, I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. 2006. But I wasn't doing any music really. I was trying to be a yoga teacher and like I was working at like Trader Joe's and just like I sold my car. I had this thing where I wanted to just rid myself of like materialistic things.
Yeah.
And and then yeah, I was studying yoga for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years and did the whole yoga teacher training. And then I realized I was like, I don't think I want to like really get that in depth with people like that. You know what I mean? Face to face and like I don't want to touch them really because energy exchange is a lot, and then
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and I used to watch the people start to, I guess, lose themselves in the idea and culture a little bit and look at the teachers as if they know more than they do. So it's just like it kind of got weird to me. But yoga, the practice itself is amazing. But and some of the ideas around it are incredible and life changing and changed my life.
Totally.
But I realized music is where I had to go.
Would you say some of the first like friends you met and like your memories though being in LA, did you have people that were kind of already in the music industry though that you could kind of
Oh, moving here?
yeah.
No. I went to Musicians Institute,
Uh-huh.
but I wouldn't say that that was more just like school, you know what I mean? And also it was very expensive, so I didn't finish like all the courses. And I, I had that sort of ambitious, like, I'm gonna do everything on my own and I'm gonna like, and so, I it was expensive, but I did make wonderful friends there and who are still my friends today. And but yeah, I wouldn't say I had too many like contacts at all. I was just moving here because I felt the energy and I was like, yo, I gotta do this.
You knew you had to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
and then
so
and
cool.
then yeah, it was a lot of self-discovery. I really didn't even quite get into music. And then even 2015 is when everything kind of changed. Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
Because you
Everything.
think about that, you're like, that's really not that long ago.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It isn't. But
Right?
it isn't that long, but when I look back at like photos from 2015, technology has changed a lot. That's what I noticed. Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we've
Well, because
really
we're on iPhone like 35 now.
yeah. Serious.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
And they've had 10 new MacBooks since then. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So that's what I do notice. Technology has changed for sure.
For sure, for sure. Let's talk about like the that like the chemistry between you and Ray Garrison. Um
Oh, yeah.
you guys make some like really rad music together.
We really do. I would say that I'm really blessed to have him in my life. We met like it seems like we've met a long time ago, but I think we only met like 3 years ago. I was recording something with another friend, and he was the engineer. And then yeah, we just became friends, and then he ended up like basically becoming like my bandmate for my shows. And we've been rocking stages, and then we started making music together. And then Remedy came out, and that's a pretty important song, about the music industry and how they kind of like exploit um uh, all these young stars who have drug addictions and mental health issues. And even at the time, like, Ray was struggling a bit with it, so we just wanted to make something that was really like, I don't know, like almost if a journal entry to those artists who have died from overdoses and stuff. So it's
It's
kind
almost
of
like
like,
it's like a tribute.
yeah, a
And
tribute and a cry for help, like all of those things. And I'm really, really proud of that song, to be honest.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, first of all, it's like just in the short time talking with you, you definitely I think what's really cool, it's like you've had some pretty impactful, music,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like that's pretty cool. I don't know how many people can say, that in a short time. I mean, I know you've been
Yeah.
at this a long time, but in kind of like the last handful of years to be like, oh, and like have some records that are,
Yeah.
mean
Mean
something.
something. Yeah, well, kind of my friend Eric McNeely, and he produced Stronger Than I Ever Been, and Set Me Off, and a couple other ones. But he kind of opened me up in a way to talk about more deeper issues. And it's stuff that that when I was like, I don't know, like 12, 20, like I really wanted to help the world. Like even have a tattoo that says I would, but like a premonition almost. It's whatever. It's a premonition. I got it in a house somewhere, but a premonition of me like breaking down walls through music. And
Wow.
I had forgotten, because you don't look at your tattoos, but he kind of opened that back up, that I really wanted to help the world, and write meaningful lyrics. And so yeah, Stronger Than I Ever Been was one. And then just it unfolded. Reload is about police brutality, and all of that and my experiences. So yeah, I really do, like, I have this undying like need and want to make music that's like healing,
And like means something.
and means something. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Going back to like the Super Bowl stuff, like what was it for you hearing your music like on Super Bowl 52, the Olympics?
Yeah.
Would you say like those were highlight moments for you so far
Oh,
in your career?
like, yeah, like extremely. Like I remember when and so they don't tell you really anything. Like they don't tell you months in advance. Sometimes they just spring all this stuff on you. So I think I heard about it a week before that the song was going to be Stronger Than I Ever Been was going to be on the Super Bowl. And like me and Eric, we were just like freaking out, just like, what? Like, oh my God. And then 3 days later, they were like, oh, and it's going to be the first song after the kickoff. And we were like, I'm like getting chills right now in my head. I'm just like, whoa, like, and
Nuts.
and again, there's something to this manifestation thing. We said it like 2 years ago. I think we made it a year and a half prior, and we're like, what if this is in the Olympics? Like, just like, haha.
My mind is blown right now. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, serious. And then yeah, then a year and a half later, it's on the Winter Olympics. Oh yeah, so Super Bowl. That's kind of it was for Toyota. It was their Winter Olympics commercial that they were showcasing in the Super Bowl. So then it played 2.5 months after that for
the commercial.
The commercial did, and it was in movie theaters and stuff. Like people would like show me, like they're like, oh, it's playing in in the beginning before they show the movie and shit. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
You're like, cool. I've never loved the 10 minutes before they showed a movie so much in my life.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm here for it. Get the popcorn. Let's get early. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Serious. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty I cried a lot during that time too. Because I was just like, a lot of parents, I don't know if you've seen the commercial, but it has this Olympian who goes through her life, and she doesn't have limbs, and she's a Paralympic 8-time gold medalist. Anyway, so all of these. Anyway, that's a small moment. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like,
don't get me. You're getting. I'm like, oh, got me in the feels.
So all these like parents from all over the world would like Facebook me and message me and DM me and being like, I love your song. My son or daughter also doesn't have like a leg or legs and arms and things, and like we play the song for him every day. And I was just like, oh my God, like crying every day, because like,
oh my God,
people were telling me how the song like helped them get through and help them with their current situation. And even like some lady, she had a miscarriage, but then she played that song and it helped her. And just like all these things. This guy, he was in like a full-blown accident and completely paralyzed, and he played this song. Like, I guess they interviewed him in Sweden or something, and he was like testing out these like new bionic type things, and like they played this song, and it was just like his first time walking. It was just like all this like things, and I was just like, oh my God, like.
You go, yes, it was very cool that we could say Super Bowl Toyota commercial, but this is like, that makes it even bigger than all of that stuff. It's like the ripple effect, right? It's like just kept, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was 2 months of just crying.
So that's the part of the movie where we all got in our feels just now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope you can grab a tissue. My gosh. Yeah. That's wonderful though.
Yeah, it was definitely life-changing for sure.
Yeah.
And even talking about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. Wow. It's like everything you say, like every 5 minutes, I'm like, wow, wow. That thing happened. You said it, and then the thing, and then wow, these people.
Yeah, there's something out there.
It's that. You're talking about the manifesting it.
Yeah.
And putting it out there, and then just there you go.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. What was No, go.
Oh, I was gonna say after this, I'm gonna have to make sure that I write down like 5 things that I want to have happen. Just I'm feeling the flow.
That's what it's all about. Sometimes it's kind of nice to say the things out loud, right? You go, wait, you remind yourself, okay, journal that, date it. You look back in like a year, 2, 5, you're like, wait, I did all of that. Now I need more things.
Yep.
Now we need more. Okay, we did those 5. We got another 5. Let's go.
Yep. Exactly.
What was Coachella like? You played Coachella. You've played a lot of awesome festivals. What was your festival experiences like? The best part to those, would you say?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So Coachella, man. Okay, my first time there. It was me and Sunburn, and he brought me out to sing California. And he played a like 140 slot in the Sahara tent. And he was like a little bit nervous because he's like, that's early, like, hopefully people will be out, whatever. And like we show up, and then people at 12 are playing, everyone's rocking. It was kind of filled up. It was like, okay, about half. Then we go to the back. And then all of a sudden we hear like this like rumble and like this like more like a wave of sound, and like people like whoa, and like just like getting amped and stuff. And then we like looked out, and it was like full from like front to back already, and he hadn't even gone on yet. And
Whoa.
so yeah, and we were just like, holy shit, oh my god, like we were just like freaking out. And then when he got on, there was even more people, and it was like spilling on the side and the back. And then it was almost like riding a like big wave or something, like I remember getting up and standing and singing I was on top of the DJ table, and then I was just like singing, and I was just like looking out, and I was just like, oh my God, it's like I can't, almost like an out of body experience.
Oh, I can imagine, especially
Yeah.
if you're kind of like in your mind, even though those early slots are a little nerve wracking, there's also maybe something there where you go, okay, it's cool. Like it's an early slot, like people won't be And then you go out there like, boom, like a wave.
It was insane. It was insane.
Like, hold on, I got to go back and prepare for this. I didn't expect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, seriously. So that was a really magical moment for Coachella for sure.
Awesome. Any other cool festival moments,
Oh
memories?
man. Oh wow. I mean, well, I will say this. In 2015 or 2016 was like my first festival, like that time and that was EDC. And because I didn't know much about dance prior to California coming out, and I don't know, I didn't understand the community, any of it. Also, I was really sheltered, so I was never really allowed to go like to any of those things. So I never like caught on. But then when I did, yeah, my first one was EDC, and I would say that's when I really understood like the power of like dance music. You know what I mean? And like how
Totally.
community oriented it is, and it's all about love and turning up and hugging. So I'd say that's when I was like, oh, I'm so grateful and thankful that like my life like took that path.
Totally. It's it's kind of cool that you sort of have like this, and maybe it comes from that background of being influenced by so many genres, but it's
Hmm.
like your music, like when you think about that, it's like it fits into a bunch of different landscapes and
Yeah,
all those different types of festivals, and it doesn't
yeah,
even seem unusual. It's like such a good fit, right? It just
yeah,
feels like
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think that's like a testament to your, I mean, would you say, if someone asked you like to pick one genre, I mean, you're almost genreless, but I
oh,
say that like in a really cool way,
okay, good. Well, okay, good.
right?
Yeah, no, I
I'm like,
can't.
I hope
Yeah,
that.
on my Instagram, I put genre fluid,
There you
because
go.
I am really inspired by so many different things, and it has been difficult to like pinpoint, just a certain sound. I am trying to make things a little bit more cohesive, but cohesive in the way that storytelling and the visuals. So, for instance, my next EP is going to have one full concept, but it's going to be four songs, but the same character the whole way through. And it's basically my like what I call like my lemonade. Like you know how all the songs are different, but then the visual is like telling a storyline. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Here for it.
yeah, yeah. And also, I've been in a
Love
10-year
it.
relationship, so I have a lot to talk about. So that just wanted to,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We'll save
So
that for another time.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
save that for the next interview
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
after you drop that EP.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so
There you
excited for
go.
it.
I
Yeah.
want to kind of switch gears into from the festival speak into, because now that you're talking about the visuals and all that for the EP, like your music video for Set Me Off. Watched it. It's like a portal to your dimension. Like, what is the message that you are sending in that? You have like, it's like we're kind of like looking into your mind a little bit there,
Yeah,
right? There's like a bionic suit, a phoenix.
yeah,
Like, what was the inspiration?
yeah. So I love, yeah, like I love AI stuff. I think that technology and everything, like it's powerful, scary, but also could be very awesome. And I figure why resist it as you know, as a human, why resist it? So I'm it's kind of this like sort of like idea that I'm having like this training day. I'm a superhero, but like I'm embracing my like myself and my power, and also embracing that we're moving into like an AI, technology driven society. And so but within that, like, I'm like I'm almost like a liaison, or like a superhero have with this like electric energy, and that's what Set Me Off is about. Kind of like that. Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to take all this in my mind and we're
Yeah.
executing it.
Yeah. And
What was the team like? Okay, you just tell
well,
us.
well, that's another thing. Trying to listen to people is very hard sometimes, because I do love to just do anything. This wasn't too hard to convince anybody that it's cool, because it's cool. And my friend Glass Battles is the one who he put everything together, the visuals, and it was pretty effortless because he knows me. We've been knowing each other, I don't know, for like 6 years now, and he's also has the same love as I do. So like if you go on his Instagram, like he has crazy visuals about like the future, and like all this like sci-fi stuff.
So he finds it all. He's like, I totally get you,
Oh
girl.
yeah. So, and he also understands how important, like, well, he's seen me grow. So the Phoenix, I'm also a Scorpio. So, the Phoenix going from the Scorpio to the bird is, the evolution of a Scorpio. So yeah.
All the meaning in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is why, like, I can just tell the EP and how you're like describing that. That's going to be epic. Storyboarding. You got this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah, I think visuals are important, and I think sometimes we get so caught up in like, let's put it on TikTok, let's just like put a single and just, it's like I'm like over that, dude. Like I'd love that part of it, but like I miss when artists are like just telling awesome stories,
Totally.
Like
There's something I think.
screen. It's like, yeah.
Oh, there's something with like, we can all agree TikTok can be very wonderful for careers, but there's like, I call it, it's like the fast food of the music industry. It's like, ooh, the fries are really good, but then you're like over them as soon as you eat them, where it's like you're talking about when you put more in that visual and all that, you're like, ooh, I will remember this dinner in 2 more years, won't I?
Exactly. Yes.
The flambe was just epic.
Exactly. Yeah. Making an impression on these people's minds. That's the goal,
Yeah, for sure. How would you say 2020 has evolved you and your music? I know you said you had more time to kind of focus on your brand, you as an artist, but what other things would you say came out of that?
Well, I started taking therapy. Yep, had some things
There you
to
go.
clear up, and it's still an ongoing process. But I would say that, yeah, I finally like slowed down in a way that like I can like catch up a little bit and process. There's so much that's happened, and I think everything started to feel like cool, I did that. You know what I mean? Instead of like, wow, like these are some major accomplishments. Not the Super Bowl, not that. But I mean just like, the everyday, like going to the club and performing and hanging out with the homies and whatever, just like all of those like little things that started to become routine and normal as an artist, which is an amazing thing that's the routine. But I don't think I like was processing that this is what I get to do. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, wait, that is really cool to roll up to even like the club gigs or like,
just
wow.
all of it, like, and the fact that, in 2017, I stopped working a normal job, and I used to work at the Apple store, and that was my last year, of normal work or whatever. And so just even processing that. And so I think, 2020 brought about like a lot of gratitude.
It's like self-reflection year.
Yeah, totally. What else was there
for
for
all
you?
of us, let's be honest.
Yeah. It's either, I know. It's either that or, extreme stress and fear,
Oh, all of it combined.
Yeah.
goods and bads, highs and lows.
Yeah,
Whoa, it's
yeah,
coming at you from everywhere.
yeah, totally. Yep.
What would you say you've learned like on your journey that you wish you could have told your younger self, or even maybe like
Mm,
pass along to another artist that's
yeah.
coming up?
God, I mean, I'm trying to say this in a nice way. Uh,
Say it however you need to
okay,
say it. Don't
yeah.
hold back.
I guess. Oh God, I wish that like I didn't listen to so much of like what like I guess my mom said to me. Like a parent thing, you know what I mean? Like I would
Totally.
say, and but you do have to, it's weird because it's like a fine balance because as a teenager, you know, you are a bit rebellious, but you're rebellious for a reason because you're breaking certain molds and certain like ideas, I think, and
Finding
of
yourself.
what you know the past, you know, what their beliefs are, you know. So like and I feel really sad for people who kind of go overboard, you know, and like they lose themselves in the rebellion too. But I would say, you know, be creative, stay creative, like religiously creative, and and learn how to break the mold within your own creativity. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
rebel. Like if someone says, you know, oh, why would you want to, you know, play the guitar all the time? Or I'm just using as an example.
Sure.
Why would you want to play the guitar all the time? Like that's so what about play that guitar all the time? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
just those are the kind of the healthy rebellions is that that move you forward in your creativity. I think that's what I'm thinking. Like do those things. And then, you know, hopefully, I know this world is so crazy and it's way different now than whew, but hopefully within that you're pushing the needle in the right way.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
God, this world it's with the internet and everything, it's just really insane. Like I don't understand sometimes how to navigate like the younger people in a way because it's just like wow.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like y'all crazy, y'all crazy, y'all real crazy.
You're
But
like, kids
yeah,
these days, but like really now you're like, kids these days.
yeah. But I'm like,
Whoa.
also kids these days. Yeah, that's what's up. You know what I
Look, I want
mean?
to be included, but also I don't get it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
and that's how
Literally.
I feel when I look at TikTok.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, I would say rebel in your art, do your art, and gosh, yeah, that's it. That's what I would say.
Still call your mom.
Call your mom. Don't do what she says, but call her, okay?
There you go. What's coming up for you this year? Like, what's next for Kaleena?
um yeah, it's my EP. Like that's the on the that's right there, you know, like
That's it.
all of my songs are being completed mix wise, and it's going to take a lot of me to tell this story, because every single song has a visual and you know I have to be this character. It's basically my own version of the Truman story meets like Pleasantville, you know, or Truman Show. You know, and it's going to take a lot to tell it. And also I have some releases with some of my good friends and on the dance world, on the dance side.
Awesome.
LPGOB, we're doing like a gospel house influence track, which I'm very proud of. I performed it 2 weeks ago at Film House for Insomniac, and I had like a really religious experience on stage. Like I was like singing and just like very church style. And I didn't really grow up in the church. I definitely went to church every now and then, but like, and I
Right.
definitely familiar with a bunch of gospel stuff, but I didn't grow up singing gospel. So something came over me, like, you know, the spirit came over me, if you will. And honestly, like I'm stoked for that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Rad. Well, cool. I speak, I know for like everyone at Breaking Sound, and I'm sure everyone else that follows you, like very excited for this EP project.
Right
As you're
on.
talking about it, my mind is just like, I'm like just thinking all the things and like I can picture all this stuff. So it'll be awesome to see that once it's like all done and
Yeah.
complete and like that whole journey. I think it'll be
Yes.
wonderful.
I'm excited.
So,
Excited.
yeah. Well, congratulations on everything that you've done. I
Thank
think
you.
you're going to keep doing such big things. It's like amazing. And
Thank you.
yeah, looking forward to like all the things with Kaleena.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this and making the time to come
Yeah,
on the
no
show.
problem. No problem. Thank you. Seriously.
For sure.
Great.
For sure. Thank you. This episode of Breaking Sound, My Story, was made by editing help from our in-house editing team. Did you know this episode was filmed also? Watch it on our official BSTV channel. Our Breaking Sound, My Story podcast is just a small part of how we support emerging artists. Discover more at www.breakingsound.com. To support our podcast, you can get a Breaking Sound My Story t-shirt by visiting breakingsound.com/merch. You can also follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Breaking Sound Podcast. My name is Kaleena Sanderson. Thanks for listening.